The political landscape of South Africa has been thrown into complete disarray following a shocking High Court verdict that has left President Cyril Ramaphosa politically crippled and the African National Congress, ANC, in total turmoil. Delivered on Friday morning, the court's decision is being hailed by legal analysts as the most damaging ruling ever issued against a sitting president since the nation's democratic transition in 1994. In a historic judgment, the court found that President Ramaphosa had violated critical sections of the Constitution, failed in his duty to uphold the rule of law, and acted in ways that deliberately undermine public confidence. Central to these findings were allegations surrounding the prolonged failure farm scandal, the misuse of state resources, and obstruction of justice. The judgment was unambiguous and scathing. It accused Ramaphosa not only of allowing corruption and misconduct to flourish under his leadership but also of using deceptive strategies to shield himself from accountability. The court described his actions as intentional, deceitful, and damaging to the public's trust, even declaring in one of its most memorable lines, "No one is above the Constitution." Through both his actions and his failure to act, President Ramaphosa, the court noted, had brought shame upon the office of the presidency. The verdict reportedly stunned his inner circle. Sources from within the presidency revealed that no one anticipated such a harsh outcome, leading to a wave of chaos within the ANC. Demands for Ramaphosa's resignation erupted almost immediately from party members. Messages from provincial leaders, members of the National Executive Committee, NEC, and representatives from both the youth and women's leagues flooded in, calling for decisive action. An emergency meeting of the ANC's NEC soon descended into shouting matches, factional walkouts, and widening internal divisions. "There is panic, pure panic," one insider admitted. Some members insisted that Ramaphosa be removed immediately, while others argued that the ANC might still endure another leadership crisis. But one conclusion seemed inevitable: the party's unity had completely collapsed. This judgment has triggered the ANC's most severe internal upheaval in over a decade. Already split between pro-Ramaphosa reformists and the conservative old guard, the party is now openly at war with itself. 3 senior ANC officials have reportedly resigned in protest over what they described as the party's sluggish and confused reaction. The ANC Youth League released a statement demanding an emergency national conference to elect new leadership, while the Women's League stands divided, some backing Ramaphosa, others declaring the party permanently tainted. A visibly shaken ANC Secretary-General, Fel Malula, spoke briefly to the media, admitting, "We are facing a crisis, but we will consult widely and act in the best interests of the people of South Africa." His attempt at reassurance did little to calm rising public anger. Among the most explosive findings in the judgment was that President Ramaphosa had breached the Executive Ethics Code by failing to disclose significant amounts of foreign currency discovered at Failure Farm. The court further cited evidence of interference with law enforcement agencies, alleging that he had directed key officials to halt investigations. It also accused him of abusing presidential authority to evade scrutiny. Additionally, the court highlighted his refusal to cooperate with Parliament and independent investigative bodies. Although the ruling did not amount to a criminal conviction, it ordered that the case be referred to both Parliament and the National Prosecuting Authority, NPA, effectively paving the way for possible criminal proceedings. The political fallout has been swift and ugly. With the ANC already reeling from record-low electoral support, the verdict has deepened its crisis of legitimacy. Across South Africa, public outrage erupted on social media, with hashtags such as #Ramaphosa and #Syrian crisis trending for hours. Once hailed as the clean-up president, Ramaphosa is now widely viewed as part of the very corruption he once vowed to eliminate. Citizens across the nation are now asking the same pressing question: if not Ramaphosa, then who? Opposition parties wasted no time in capitalizing on the chaos. The Economic Freedom Fighters, EFF, Democratic Alliance, DA, Action SA, and other groups held coordinated press briefings demanding the president's resignation or impeachment. The High Court has spoken. Sir Ramaphosa is not fit to lead this country, declared DA leader John Stein. He must resign before sunset today, or we will take to the streets. EFF leader Julius Malema echoed the sentiment more aggressively, proclaiming that the ANC was crumbling under the weight of its own corruption. He added, "This ruling proves what we've been saying all along, Ramaphosa isn't the solution, he's the problem." Meanwhile, civil unrest has begun spreading across several provinces. Ordinary South Africans have taken to the streets, demanding justice, fresh elections, and an entirely new political order. Protesters say they are exhausted by lies and deception, calling for an era built on transparency, accountability, and leadership that genuinely serves the people. As for President Ramaphosa, his future remains uncertain. Legal experts warn that while the ruling itself does not constitute a criminal conviction, its referral to Parliament and the NPA could set in motion a series of events that might ultimately lead to his impeachment, prosecution, or both. With the ANC spiraling deeper into crisis and opposition forces gaining momentum, South Africa's political system now stands on the brink of a historic turning point. One thing, however, is clear: the age of political impunity is drawing to a close, and Sir Ramaphosa may very well become its first casualty.